Some athletes choose their college by distance from home. Others choose by style of play. One former OSU baseball player traveled 877 miles to play at Alley P. The Oklahoma State Cowboys endured a grueling series with the Texas Longhorns. This series included an 18-inning game that ended at 2 a.m.
And some people might just say, why don't we finish the inning really quickly in this break? But here's the thing you got to think about. You got to get the tarp off. You got to get everyone set in the batter's box. By that time, it might be raining again. And let alone, what if OSU gets a single? It's tied at 2.
Not only is driving tough in this winter weather, but if the sidewalks aren't salted, walking can be a challenge in itself. The Strongest Cowboy competition tests your strength in many ways. One of these ways is lifting a tire that almost weighs as much as me. All seniors have to do is apply to graduate on student self-services and buy their cap and gown. The worst part about all this is that once you graduate, the piece of paper can only do so much. You have to find a job.
According to the University of Pittsburgh, more than 300,000 U.S. athletes a year are experiencing concussion symptoms. Concussions have always been a serious problem in sports, but with technological advances, we now have an idea on how dangerous a concussion can truly be.
A light head-to-head collision in football is similar to getting in a 30-mile-an-hour wreck in this truck.
Vale Jean Ivan helps athletes understand the severity of concussions and its symptoms.
Is it simply when somebody gets knocked out and loses consciousness? Absolutely not. Is it simply as mild as, well, I have a headache after I've had a collision? Possibly. But there's obviously a lot in between that we have to think about.
Sports medicine is striving to learn even more about the causes of concussions and how to prevent them. Any sport or activity can result in a concussion, and recovering from one, like Melissa Givens did, can be troublesome.
Brain rest, you're not able to do anything, you just kind of lay around, like you weren't allowed to use the TV, not supposed to read very much, so doing homework was really hard because I can't get on my laptop or anything.
To ensure that concussions are handled with greater care, the Big 12 implemented a new policy to help aid players from long-term damage.
And really what it does is it just kind of empowers the medical staff, and it eliminates any confusion with the coaching staff to make that call, make that decision, put those people in the line of recognition and treatment and prevention the best we can.
Concussions will continue to have an effect on athletes, but treatments will help soften the blow in the future. For O State TV, I'm Reese Van Haaften.
The Student Union hosted the 15th annual Salsa Ball, where students went up these stairs and salsa like this.
This isn't the salsa you eat. It's actually a little spicier. Salsa dancing is a mix of Cuban rhythms, jazz, rock, and soul music. This upbeat music made the Salsa Ball an event that every age and culture felt comfortable coming to.
The Salsa Ball essentially is just a night where all of us can get together, dress up, have a good time, and just really soak in and absorb Latin culture.
Hundreds of people showed up to the Student Union Ballroom to enjoy this form of Latin dancing. CJ Coe, the Salsa Ball founder, is glad all the hard work paid off, and he wants the Salsa Ball legacy to continue.
Back then, really, my friends and I were just having a good time, but to see it 15 years later, that is still going on, is really very humbling as my legacy. My dream is that someday my great-grandkids will still be doing this.
Bad at dancing? No problem.
Salsa Ball is really fun, and it connects people together because even if you don't know how to dance, there are a lot of people who can help you.
There was even a live band to help keep the music flowing and the feet moving. If you missed out on this year's event, there's always next year. For O State TV, I'm Reese Van Haaften. Before the Josh Holliday era, the Oklahoma State baseball program was trying to find an identity. Now, the Cowboys are back on the rise, and the team goals are at an all-time high. This OSU team is tabbed number 7 in the USA Today coaches preseason poll. But Holliday embraces the expectations.
You don't want to let anybody down. You know, you want to please the people that showed enough confidence in you to hire you. Obviously, our fans want a winning team, and we want desperately to give our fans what it is that they seek, and that is a championship team that they're proud of.
Part of the reason for the ambitious goals came from last year's outstanding finish. With a 41-19 record and an NCAA Super Regional appearance, OSU fans want to see even more from this year's upcoming season.
My expectations are always high. You know, the goal is to get to Omaha, and then once you get there, find a way to win it. You know, whether that's our first year, last year, or now this year, I think expectations for us is always high.
These high expectations won't come without challenges. The Cowboys still have a tough Big 12 season ahead. They will face the top opponents of TCU, Texas, and Texas Tech. This is part of the reason that the Cowboys are projected to finish third in the Big 12 coaches preseason poll. But the Cowboys won't let this affect the way they play the game.
We don't pay too much attention to the rankings, you know, that everybody's talking about and stuff, but we're out here focusing on making up the 21, what we call the 21 days that we missed, the 21 extra days that we need to keep playing to win a national championship.
Having 5 fielders and 12 pitchers returning from last year's team is a strength for OSU. As long as these players can mentor the new players on how to play at a high level, then a trip to Omaha is not out of the question. For O State TV, I'm Reese Van Haaften.